1. We have a game with the white pieces against Tsarin KO, rated 1131. We develop a minor piece towards the center so we could play e4. He stops us from playing e4, and we develop our bishop out to f4, controlling a nice diagonal. He now just develops his other knight towards the center. This is an opportunity to go knight b5 instead of the standard e3. Since he has this weakness and he neglected to take care of it, we can make a targeted strike on this square, and the only way to defend it would be to go e5, sacrificing a pawn. But if you don't sacrifice a pawn, you're in even bigger trouble. So he sacks the pawn, and we take the free material with a threat on the knight, so even more free stuff. He jumps the knight into the center, which makes sense. Doesn't threaten anything except potentially this check. We can play c3. If he takes, I mean, I feel like at the very least you have bishop d2. Something like that. Anyway, I kind of want to take this pawn, is the point of what I'm getting at. I don't buy what he's doing. Let's try it. I guess the most critical line is this check, but instead he takes the queen, which allows this idea, winning another pawn. And now he goes, whoops, I take the queen. Now there is no check because it's covered, so less critical variation. We can kick his knight. Okay, so he improves the other knight with a threat. And if you try to really move your king, he's going to do this. But then his knight is kind of trapped. Maybe I could get both knights for a rook. How do I do that? I just long castle. He takes this guy, I take the knight. He takes the rook. I mean, I don't know. Bishop here. I'm going to do that. Let him take my rook in the corner. I don't really care. Even if I only got one knight, I'm getting his active piece. I'm staring at his king. Now his knight's in the corner. He thinks he won something. He probably feels really good, but it's not good for him. But I might as well trap the knight. He wants to come out through this square. So we could go here, although I did want to play e4 as well. But if I play e4 and he evacuates, I mean, he's still kind of stuck. I can play h3. If I just go bishop here first and he makes a move, how do I attack the guy? g3, bishop g2. Yeah, and the bishop's actually very nice on the fianchettoed square. So let's go with this idea of capturing his knight. Might as well. He attacks our rook with tempo. We could double check him, but does that do anything? Like, we can double check him and take his rook. Wait, could we have done that last turn? Oh yeah. Whoops. We could also double check him this way, but that doesn't win his rook. If we moved our rook, our bishop is hanging and he can get his knight out. That is at the point. So let's go for this one, the double check, which means he has to move his king. Now he can take the rook with check. That was not the right square to go to. Because now we don't even lose the rook. So this was a terrible decision by this guy. And now since we're up 5 points of material and potentially winning the knight, I'm going to go to this weird d6 square, which kind of forces him to make this exchange, to win this exchange. I take back, providing my knight a square. He wastes a turn getting rid of that square, and now I can take his knight. And his king's in the center of the board. It's the only thing developed, funnily enough. I have two mean bishops. I'll bring my other knight out, and things are going swimmingly. He's probably going to desperado at some point, either now or after I play this. He develops his bishop so that he can at least get the knight. And if I try to move the knight and ruin his pawn structure, maybe he can defend the bishop, the knight, so that I can't go here. So let's go and capture this knight. We're now up. He has a rook. We have two pieces and a pawn. So we're up material. He's now coordinating on the c square. So we simply move it. No threats anymore. And his bishops are beaming, so he's going to have a very hard time moving or doing anything. He moves his rook, attacks our bishop. Got to do something. We'll take a pawn. He can go here and try to win this pawn, which he does. That's fine. Here, 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 here. It's unnecessary. Okay, so we'll just move it to this outpost. Comes with a threat. He'll probably take this pawn. He does not take the pawn. Very weird. Well, we might as well play in the center for free, supported by the bishop. Even if you took this pawn, you'd never had back rank problems because it's defended. So he moves his bishop. We're just going to develop a piece. Hang the pawn, but didn't I have this? Does this not work? I mean, he's going to take some stuff. Wait, no, he's not. He's not even going to take stuff. Yeah, I guess we just win material. I didn't think this worked. This is just a trade, and we're up 2 bishops, so something clearly went wrong here. And now you can win any number of ways. You have passed pawns, you have extra pieces, you can get queens. Doesn't really matter what you do. I guess the easiest way would be to just create a outside passer and a queen. Doesn't matter if I blunder stuff. And then we'll just checkmate him. Let's close the box with the king. Okay. And this forces this, and then this, and then this. Something like that. Who knows? So let's go over the game. We play in the center and develop. Development in center. And now there's this tender spot that just happens not to be defensible by anything. Can't bring your bishop out, can't put your knight here. Just can't defend it. So it's a weak point. So we attack it. He has to sacrifice this pawn, which we take. He jumps in the center, which they're saying is plus 3.3 blunder. Okay, so okay, it is because of my move. I take destabilizing the knight, also with these weird threats. I thought maybe he has to try something like this, but after c3 it shouldn't work, I said. So I thought if he sacked, you have this knight here. If you take and he takes, it redefends. I'm just curious if he goes bishop here and you go c3 and he takes with this and you take his queen and he takes bishop here. No, because your knight's hanging. Okay, it wasn't even a critical line, but I thought it might have been a try for him. He didn't go for it. It says we're completely winning already, plus 2.5. We take this pawn. He takes the queen, but this allows us to fork him and win material. So we go down that line and we're plus 3.5. He tries to get cheeky with this, but it says it's plus 5, totally crushing. And it likes our long castle, just giving up the rook. We take the knight, we give up the rook, it's plus 5. I knew this had to be terrible. So we just cut off the escape of the piece. He attacks us. We have this forced response and forcing response. We take his knight, his rook with check. And then we force matters. We force him to trade pieces. If we just move the rook and allow even a trade, he can evacuate the knight. So we give up the rook for the bishop and we'll pick up the knight, which we do. We take, it's plus 5. It may look like he's trying to do something, but there's nothing to be done. He's probing and prodding. We take here, oops. We take here and he moves his rook. I move my bishop back. I thought maybe he was going to take here, but at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind the knight's defended, so it's not like he's going to win a piece or something. So if you, I don't know, hit the bishop, he gives you a check, you move your king somewhere, like that's the end of his stuff. So he just protects this pawn, which is technically hanging. But then we play in the center for free. Develop hanging this pawn, but it doesn't work because of this, so it was a trap. Plus 8. Take the free stuff, and then you can mate him however your heart desires. So remember, knight b5, when they just bring their knights out automatically without thinking, always leads to a good position. And then just know that they usually don't have a good response. You should be better. So when they do stuff like this, know that you're better, and there should be some type of refutation. You just got to find it if you don't know it. Look for your opponent's, counterplay. Try to refute those ideas, and just play like that. So hopefully this helps. Good luck in your chess, and goodbye.